council's pleasure?
It's just to go out to bidding, so move to approve resolution 2014-030.
And second.
Motion by Mr. Hansi, seconded by Mr. Dahl. Any more questions or comments on this resolution? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes. Anything else on 8C to discuss beyond that? Good to go. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to 8D. Presentation from Public Works Director Copley and Otomo Engineering regarding the scope of work as reviewed at the December 9th, 2013 council meeting regarding the Corps of Engineers levy inspection. This report has been updated by the Corps and details the maintenance issues and areas which need to be addressed, with the Corps requesting a timeline for work to be completed. The meeting is being scheduled with the Corps to review the categories of work and the timeline for both the city and the Corps to complete their respective tasks. The council will be asked to consider authorizing Otomo Engineering to continue working with the Corps of Engineers and Public Works to finalize project priorities and timelines. Projects will be categorized in plans and specifications, will eventually be prepared for some of the categories of work in order to solicit quotes, bids for sale. See attached draft plan. That is something else.
What you're gonna see in there is, there's some math errors and there's some things like that because it's a work in progress. Josh has got some good words that I like. What you said earlier, what'd you call this?
What we're hoping to do is maybe we won't necessarily need plan specifications, but we're hoping to more or less work with Jeff in order to put together what we're gonna be calling the task organization sheets. And those, that way we can monitor and document correctly the way the Corps requests us to report back to them and get these items removed and approved.
And I don't know how in depth you wanna go through this report, but let's just say, pick the green one, the tree and vegetation one. I pulled that out of this already because it's $104,000 of work the city crew can do. If you look at what we've done to date on this form from the Corps of Engineers, we're probably 25% left to do of that $104,000. We haven't turned those into Kathy, of course, yet, but that's where we stand on the green. When it comes to riprap and landscape, the blue that's marked there, that's something that the riprap side is not something the city crew can do. That's gonna be a larger project. It's probably gonna have to go out for bid.
But we still need to talk to the Corps about that.
Correct.
Because we think we've got,
There are areas that need to be defined of whether there's riprap there or
Yeah.
not, or how much riprap needs to be added, or as long as some of the grading as well too that can be done beyond the riprap areas. So, and then also the sediment that came in along those stream structures where
And that
the riprap
sediment
is.
side falls under the landscaping. Landscaping can be anything from a 1-foot barrier between the grass and the riprap that was killed by weed killer that has to be now put dirt and grass back in, to completely digging out along the rivers, or creek edge in order to get rid of the vegetation and the silt that's down in the bottom there. So landscaping is a fairly large item to look at, and I'm picking that apart right now, so Josh and I are looking at that. There's things that are obvious that we can do, and there's things that we can't do that are pretty obvious.
Right, and like you said, some of the descriptions here from the Corps they give us is they ask us to resod the areas. Well, we don't need to go out there with the landscaper and resod them. If we can put down an erosion control blanket and seed it and water it and monitor it, that's a cost saving and should be acceptable. But items like that we have to work with the Corps to define exactly what they want.
The drainage and structures on the pink side is more technical. That's gonna be things like, are the culverts sized properly? Those are things that Dean's gonna have to figure out. The things like, what are the cross sections of the creek and do they meet what the Corps says we have to meet? Cross section for doing the, what do you do? Survey, excuse me. That we can't do. So, structures, What's going on with the structures is, there's some rust on a bolt. There's paint that needs to be painted on the gates. You see the big black round gates, flop gates in the waterways, those have to be all painted, things like that. So we don't really necessarily have to, put those out for bid for painting, but it's something that they want done.
And for each one of these items, we need budget, and we need a date that we're going to complete it, and then we have to go back to the Corps, and this is the meeting that we're scheduling up in St. Paul, that we've asked a couple council members to attend, to go up there and present our plan, and get their input and their approval that we're, you know, that we're moving in the right direction. And there's a couple areas that we need to hold firm on, and we have a difference of opinion with them.
We have a strong difference of opinion with that.
And so we need to be able to, to meet with them and have that discussion, and we'll see where it ends up.
So what's in front of you here is a work in progress, is my point. We still gotta get the dates and stuff like that on things, and we know that the DNR money that we have, that Kathy has got left to spend, it kinda has a timeline, I shouldn't say kinda, it does have a timeline of the end of this year.
It doesn't have to be spent, it has to be proven that it's
Proven
going to
to
be
be
used.
spent.
So we have, again, we match that up with our work plan to show that the money is being appropriated for those, and, we'll have to see if we're long or short, probably gonna be short, and that they may be able to make an argument to get more, or at that point, that's where the city's gonna have to step in.
Your timeline thing is gonna be fairly general, isn't it?
Well, the timeline thing for me is gonna be, the unacceptables are gonna be 2014 timelines. The minimal
like,
acceptables will be timelined out accordingly.
you would say like by the end of summer, or by the end of fall, or,
Right, we're not gonna say
Yeah, we
June
put-
21st.
yeah.
We put down here, it says trees to be removed starting winter of 2013 through 14, like that.
And so at the core of everything here too is a lot of these items described say that we have to go to the levy easement. Back in 1967, the city was responsible for securing those properties and the easements. And a lot of the areas we are unsure about where the documented easement is. So that's what Tony's quote was for, was to firm up where the property lines are, to be sure that we're going to be designing to the limits of the easements.
There's two types of easements too. There's a construction easement, which is 30 feet on both sides of the levee. Then there's an easement that we have to have, as a permanent clear zone easement, is 15 feet from the toe of the levee on both sides, water and land. And where the discrepancy is coming in with the Corps of Engineers, which we have to get straightened out, is they keep referring to the 30-foot easement, construction easement, which is on both sides, land and water. And if you can imagine going 30 feet away from the levee system on this town, we're in the backyard or the center of some people's houses. So that can't be. So we need to
Know
make sure
exactly
that's-
where the easement line is.
easement line.
And for people who have structures in their, against the levee, it's 15 feet from the end of that structure, not from the levee, from the toe.
Correct.
Correct.
So,
And some do have the, okay from the Corps to be there.
right,
Weren't all of those documented?
They were, but, we found that there's a discrepancy in filing for the county that doesn't have it?
Some properties don't have it on their
abstract.
abstracts. Some properties do, back from 67. But then again, some of these homeowners have just gone ahead and built
Right.
and didn't really have permission to do it. They just did it, or they put trees in there, or they planted a garden or whatever. So, over 40 years' time, stuff gets done that isn't followed up on all the time. But the original documentation of the easement, in some properties, it was done, and others we're not sure. And that's what Tony has to do, is to make sure.
That the city
And so somebody has to spend time
obtained them.
looking at those parcels and actually finding out if it is recorded or not.